What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Different Lens podcast. My name is Juan Felipe Sierra. I've been in the entertainment industry for the past 13 years, and this is...
And I'm Daniel, your usual nerd. I like games, movies, music, and more.
All right. So what do we have for the docket today?
So today we're going to be talking about games that have gotten movie adaptations.
Okay.
And some of the movies that have gotten game adaptations or games that have come out from the movies, as well as a little bit of, at the end, towards the end, we're going to talk a little bit about anime as well.
Okay,
that have made it into the games. But mostly, why have they been successful or unsuccessful?
Right.
So just to get started, let's start with the movies first. We've been through so many adaptations of movies, of games that just don't slap, man. They just suck. And I'm just like, I get very excited when I see that a game is coming, like a movie is coming out from a game. I get very excited. I'm like, I really want to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah. And just to preface, we really want things to do well and for the movies to do well and for the games to do well. It's just that sometimes the people that actually make them don't know how to handle them well.
Yeah, I just feel like I know they're trying to stay true sometimes to the topics, sometimes, but then sometimes they want to take like, I don't know, like creative
license, creative freedoms,
liberty, and then they just go a different direction, or they cast the cast just doesn't hit, and we've seen that consistently across the board, not only in adaptations from games, but also in adaptations from anime that have made it into the movies, right? So what do you think? Sometimes it works?
It works because they're able to replicate what makes it good and what makes it like that secret sauce, So I believe that there's times where they understand what the product is and they don't try to go hoity-toity with the whole thing, like where like they're trying to make like an avant-garde piece with Mortal Kombat,
Right.
So movies that have actually been good, or because we can also talk about series that have come through from video games, is something like The Last of Us. I know I keep talking about The Last of Us. I rave about it all the time. But seriously, the series is so good. Like I'm genuinely surprised how amazing everything is, and how they brought back, Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson as different roles, and Laura Bailey too. So I'm genuinely happy that it actually got a second season, which is gonna come out soon. And I think that they captured the level of intimate love and kind of vitriol that Joel and Ellie had at the beginning, and how it developed into something of like a father-daughter relationship. So I really like the fact that we were able to see that transition,
right?
Kind of similarly, but not really to the game, which I like.
Do you think it's successful because the original director of the game, the original creators of the game, are heavily involved in it?
Yes. And
perhaps that could be one of the reasons why we see so many adaptations that just don't get translated well, maybe because they lack that engagement from the original creators.
Yeah, a lot of the times the original creators get sidelined just because they don't want to deal with, I get it, sometimes people can be like overprotective of their own work, to the point where it could be like a hindrance to the the actual product. But I think that should even like come in as a consultant, because at the end of the day, they made that. It's their baby,
Absolutely.
So and I do agree, and I do think that that's one of the reasons why, and it's because, oh my God, what's his name?
The creators?
Yeah.
Neil Druckmann?
Neil Druckmann really gets it. Neil Druckmann really gets it and really understands where he comes from. So I do think that him being able to replicate what he did, because sometimes it's a one-to-one, I think it's just beautiful.
How do you feel now that let's pick up, continue there with The Last of Us? Season 2 is going to come out in April, where April is,
right around the corner.
And
by the time of this recording. So.
By the time of this recording. Actually, probably the show is going to come out by the time this episode comes out.
Correct.
Anyways, but now that we're talking about this for a minute, how do you feel with the fact that they're gonna have some now freedoms, like some
Creative
liberties on this, and they're gonna go a different direction than The Last of Us Part 2, which stirred the community heavily because of the actions of the show.
Right.
How do you feel with that change that is coming?
It was an inevitable change because the way that they told The Last of Us Part 2 in the game, I personally didn't like it. I think it was a jumbled mess, but it was also, since it's so like discontinued from one from the other, I think they're going to take a much more linear route of, Abby's doing this, Ellie's doing this, Abby's doing this, Ellie's doing this. Not like Ellie half the season and then Abby half the season. That wouldn't make sense.
What if they start with Abby and they go through all Abby's story, and at the end they pick up from where Joel's, passing, and then they kind of continue the story of why now we understand from the get-go why Abby did what she did, and then now we understand why Ellie's going to go into a rampage.
Yeah, I think they're going to start...
So they leave it to the end.
I think they're going to start again with the hospital scene from their first season. And right after, they're going to start with Abby, and I think they're going to start with like those few episodes. So I don't think they're going to go into the whole scars and the fights and the this and the that and the abduction and whatnot. I think they're going to
streamline. I think that would be... There's some really good...
Yeah, there's some really dope things. Really, but I think that they're going to streamline it a little bit more so it fits into the show aesthetic.
Sorry, and just to interrupt, what if they're looking to do 2 parts, break down part 2 into 2 seasons, where they can really fully expand in some really important items, because otherwise they can cut a lot of stuff, and hopefully they don't, because there's some really good stuff in there. But what if they decide to just kind of cut it into 2 so they can fit more to it, and maybe that's something also they're wanting to take up, a creative liberty to kind of split it a little bit, so we are able to experience the whole story, because the third installment is not out there yet, and I know they mentioned that they want to do another season.
It would be weird, because how do you split that without trying to have Pedro Pascal? Because at the end of the day, like, most people watch it because of Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
So to have it without Pedro Pascal, it's a big gamble, because at the end of the day, like, yes, the actress, I think her name is Bella Ramsey. She's a really good actress, don't get me wrong, but I don't think she has that star power yet to where she can do it on her own.
Maybe that's something they're trying to do.
Maybe
like, keep him alive for a little bit longer.
Correct.
So they can finish this season and be like, he's still kind of alive, and then the next season could be
they actually kill him. It could be. It could be.
Just to give it a little bit more, to expand it a little bit. Maybe.
Correct.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so which one do you have?
Anyways, now going into some of these ones, I think one of the successful adaptations for me was Mario Bros.
Okay.
I think it was quite an enjoyable movie. The visuals were good. I feel like at the beginning a lot of people were hesitant to see Chris Pratt doing Mario.
Yet another.
Yeah. But at the end, if you look past that, I feel like it was an enjoyable movie. I actually enjoyed it. I had a fun time watching it. I don't know if you watched it.
I haven't.
Okay. I think it was good.
Yeah.
Jack Black as Browser was really good. And they were actually Bowser. I'll say Browser.
As internet browser.
They did come up with that song that was really praised.
Peaches.
It was heavily praised.
I don't know if praised. It was just catchy.
Well, people were saying it was good, and it came out from it. I mean, listen, internet
to each their own. Yeah,
the internet was saying it was good, and they had a little bit of it. I mean, it was good. Sure, it was fun. Like I said, it was a fun movie. To say that it was like the best movie for Mario Bros. I mean, it's not like we got in a lot, so it was good. It was good. What else do you have?
I have again more going towards series than movies. Actually, no. I'm gonna make it's kind of an anime movie that is based on Final Fantasy. It's called Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, which it was the first anime movie that I ever watched, and I can still quote some parts of it in Japanese.
Oh, wow.
Because I only saw it in Japanese when I saw it in Colombia. They only had it in Japanese, but it has an English dub. I don't recall it having a Spanish dub. I know it has an English dub. But to me, it just doesn't sound the same as like the gravitas from the Japanese.
Yeah.
And there's actually two versions of that movie. One that is like bloodier and more guttural, and the other one that is more like PG.
Like the censored version.
Yeah, correct. Where they cut certain parts of the film and they don't show. But I like the full like raw uncut.
Give me the gore.
Yeah, correct.
Give me the blood.
Give me the blood.
The guts.
Blood, no funny. Yeah. I really like that movie, and it's a fantastic movie because it fills in some of the holes from the actual game, from transitioning from one to another kind of ish game. Yeah. So it fleshes out a lot of the world, and it gives us new characters. It gives us badass characters, and it fleshes out also how, for example, like the fight scenes are fucking awesome. Like, and it's like Tifa has a badass fucking scene where she kicks the piss out of this one guy.
I have to see it.
It's so good. I highly, highly recommend
I'll drop the trailer down below for you guys.
Yes. It's from like 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, this is not necessarily... Well, it started as a book. Came from the book. Then it got adapted. Became a game. Then from the game, now we got the series.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Which one?
Witcher.
What?
The Witcher.
Yes.
I know.
The Witcher series.
As soon as you said book, I'm like, The Witcher. Yeah. I know.
So it came from the book. We got the game, which was very phenomenal game. A lot of people loved it. I love it. It's a big open world RPG, right? It's very technical. The Witcher 3 was really good. It's one of my favorite games.
Right.
And then we go into the series where Henry Cavill did the Witcher. Yeah. Yeah. And I think he did a good job. I actually genuinely liked him. And I was having fun watching it, right? He did a good job as playing Geralt, very like mysterious and everything.
Very stoic.
Yeah, he's like big and brutish. I really like that. I know some people were kind of iffy about it. I enjoyed it. Now, obviously, he departed the series, and we're getting...
rightfully so. Yeah. Rightfully so.
And we're getting the brother of...
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth. But also, they've released a few movies that are animated. And the first one that they did was following the story of his partner, and that one's really good. Something about the wolf. Jesus Christ, I can't remember the name, but we'll put it down there. And I highly recommend that. That one's amazing. They just released another one, which is actually with Geralt, and they're going to the sea and some stuff like that. That one was but the first one was really, really good. So I do recommend that. Like I said, we'll put the name down below for you guys. But that one was actually good. I enjoyed it. And like I said, the series also, it's been, I guess,
it's been good.
Quite adapted quite well.
Nice. For my next pick, it is actually, looking back at it, I have like 3 animes. It's Castlevania. I consider it an anime. It is like one of the best series ever. I know you like Nocturne. I didn't like it. I prefer the original Castlevania.
No. I mean, I like both. Obviously, the first one is way better, in my opinion, too.
Yeah, because the story was much more detailed. The fight scenes were, like, in my opinion, better. You could see them. You could, like, really experience them. Isaac was my favorite character. Isaac is such a, like, fucking... Like, to me, he steals the show even from, like, the main characters, because Isaac, he goes through this whole arc of being a slave to not only to who he originally was a slave to, but also to Dracula, because at the end of the day, like, he was willing to give his life for Dracula, who manipulated him.
But Dracula was amazing.
Oh yeah, Graham McTavish's Dracula was a fucking
he
badass.
Was so good.
Yeah.
That Dracula was so menacing. Yeah. Every time he was on screen, you just feel tense because he was just.
I love how he was at the beginning very soft spoken, very just kind of like, yeah, I know I'm doing this, and then when he really has to, there are no innocents. They're all animals. I'm like, yes, fucking kill them all. And the fact that you side with him for the series. Because you see how the church burned his wife. You see how humanity's a piece of shit. But you also see the contrast with Alucard, with sci-fi, and with...
Which is also very soft-spoken.
Correct.
Alucard is extremely soft-spoken.
He's so sexy. He's like, and I'm going to kill every single one of you motherfuckers.
And the sword, man. That sword is awesome. Every time he's fighting and you just see the sword everywhere,
and
dude.
The fact that they adapted Bloody Tears into, like, a badass... like just musical, like, and you're just seeing everybody kicks ass. Yeah. I've seen that fight scene more times than I care to say because it is amazing.
Yeah, and we can't forget about the sisters. They were phenomenal.
The sisters?
Yeah.
What sisters?
The fuck, I couldn't forget. I remember. I butcher every single name and everybody.
Oh, the Asian ones?
No. The evil ladies. I forget the names, bro.
Lenore and yeah.
See? That's why I have him, because he remembers those things. I can't remember shit. Anyways, they were awesome, dude. They were fucking great.
I love Lenore because she was a multi-layered character, because like the main, what was her name? Carmilla was such a badass.
I remember the names.
Yeah, Carmilla was amazing. Such a badass. Yeah, but she was so vengeful that her whole thing was just, I want to eat and destroy. But Lenore was like, I am caught in between a warrior and like a tyrant.
Yeah.
And she's the diplomat, and she's the one that is trying to keep peace, but it's like everybody's just either a sycophant or a psychopath. You know, so I love that show. I really, really like that show.
I agree. I think this is one that we've talked so many episodes. We already mentioned it, and it's always going to continue to be mentioned just because we love the art style, we love the story, and it's Arcane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Phenomenal.
Fucking absolutely, right? Absolutely. 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 10,000 out of 10.
You know, and the story is really good. Though it has some consistencies here and there, just like everything else, right? We can't have, perfect. There's always going to be something that we can nitpick in it.
Correct.
But overall, it's just a really awesome story. And the characters are really cool, right? It follows a beautiful storyline between the sister and the sister love, the father that goes missing, right? And which the fact that they find him after as a beast.
Spoilers.
Yeah. But the fact that they found him, that emotional moment when you just see that scene,
I cried.
Oh my God, it was him. And you're just like,
I cried when they go, Vander? I was like, no. And I started crying. I'm like, I love Vander.
Yeah, man. That was awesome. Also, even when they kill, what is it? Oh man, more spoilers. Jesus, the bad guy. I forgot the name. Dude, I can't remember names right now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, anyways.
The guy with the eye.
Yeah, the guy with the eye.
Yeah.
But even then, that scene was really dope. Like, everything is really good. I think it's really well done. And maybe it's not necessarily following a specific story from the game, but it's a wonderful game. I mean, I haven't played League of Legends, right? It's League of Legends. I haven't played it myself, but it's a really well written story of it. So awesome.
The last one that I have is one that a lot of people, it caught people by surprise, and I didn't watch it until like a year after it came out, because I was like, I want things to, like, I like for things to die down the hype a little bit. And it was Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Okay. When I saw it, I was like, I fucking love this.
Man, I have that one. I had that one for the anime ones at the end.
It's okay. I like it. But yeah, like
we'll come back to that one.
Yeah, we'll come back to that
because there's a lot to talk about that one. That was good.
Oh, it's so good. And the fact that they have such an amazing dub. The only character that I was like, I don't like that character is the main girl.
Oh, okay.
I don't like her. Every other character, like the hacker girl, like that has the mask that she turns out to like flip at the end, and of course Matthew Mercer, who's like, Matthew Mercer is amazing in everything he does.
I'm thinking Rebecca, the one with the shotgun.
That's one. Oh no, she was awesome. She was awesome.
Then we had was it Lucy? No,
Lucy's the main girl.
Yeah, that's the one that you're saying that you didn't like.
That I don't like. The character that do you remember the big beefy woman? Oh my God, she was fucking awesome. She was badass. Yeah, but yeah, we'll come back to it in a little bit.
Yeah. Now let's switch a little bit. We're gonna talk about movies that got a game adaptation, right? And I'm not necessarily talking.
We're talking about successful ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's finish with successes first. Then we can go into terrible ones. But talking about some of the successful ones, one movie that I really enjoyed, right, was Mad Max Fury Road with
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I think it was a really good movie. The effects were awesome. At least personally, in my opinion, I really enjoyed it. The effects looked so good, and I know a lot of it was filmed practically.
Correct.
Which was awesome too. I know some people are like, about it, but I really, really enjoyed it. And the game necessarily is not necessarily from that, but it's Mad Max had a game come out too. And I think the game was really good, right? And the way that it was played and everything was really good. I am not entirely sure if it comes directly from it, right? Because it's not necessarily the same.
The tie-in.
Like, like a Spider-Man, like an Amazing Spider-Man that you're like, you have the same villains and stuff like that. But it was a really good game, right? It was a really good game. The mechanics were awesome. The driving was cool. The fighting was really cool. So again, I'm not entirely necessarily saying it's coming directly from it, but it's a Mad Max game, which is from the movies. Right.
Yeah. Cool. I've never played it, so would you recommend people play it?
Yeah, it's an awesome game. Okay. It's a fun game. Yeah.
Cool. For my first pick, it's a game that actually was better than the movie, and it's X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
The game was 1,000 times better than the movie.
That was an awesome game.
Oh, it was.
Fuck yeah.
I love the fact that you saw in real time Wolverine getting healed. Yeah, and the clothes getting back to, it's like, it was awesome. It was guttural, it was visceral, it was violent, it was
they made it very violent.
It was awesome. Even like from the title screen where he jumps out of the fucking helicopter into a guy on a bridge, and he goes, oh my, and just like gets shredded.
Listen, I am a gore whore. I like seeing gore, I like seeing dismemberment, I like seeing blood, and that game has all of that.
All of it.
And
all of it.
Awesome.
And the story's much better. It's handled much better. Hugh Jackman reprises his role. I believe everybody reprised their role. But I know Hugh Jackman specifically did. And it was awesome. I even fucking love that game. No.
I'm just kidding.
Fuck Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, so this is one that I play so many times. I truly enjoy it. And I'm not sure if you remember this one. This is from the original Xbox. I'm sure it was in PlayStation, I think, too. I play the shit out of this game. Man, I love this game. Scarface.
Oh, yeah. Scarface, the world is yours.
Oh,
yeah. I actually played it on your Xbox.
I know.
Yeah, I played the shit out of the game, too. Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, it was kind of like a GTA-ish.
Yeah. So it starts where the story ends for Scarface. So, Scarface gets shot down and everything, but you start the game making it out alive,
miraculously survive
out of that, and then basically you carry on from the game from there, and then you do, it's kind of like a GTA like game. It's very open world. Dude, that game was so fun. That game was
badass. Yeah, and the cool thing is that you had to rebuild from the very beginning, because all of your street cred got lost. Everybody thinks you're dead. Everybody thinks you're a bitch. So you have to slowly but surely have to start intimidating people again, start getting your contacts again, start getting your distribution again.
Yeah, and you buy places, right? It had a very nice management and stuff like that. If you were in the water, you can get eaten by a shark.
Oh yeah.
It had cockfighting where you had to actually bet money. Yeah. Oh my god, dude, that game was awesome.
That game was awesome.
Also, the radio was really good.
Yes,
that's how I discovered
music.
That's how I discovered Africa Bombado. Through the game, which is also very fun. I mean, listen, the game was really dope.
That was a dope game. Yeah, I agree 1,000% with you.
I knew you were gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that game too. Good. My next pick is actually from a comic book movie. Also, this game to me is on par with the movie that it came from, and is the Spider-Man 2 video game
from Tobey Maguire.
Maguire. What a game. What a fucking game. Oh my god, the graphics, the fighting. It was the first video game, it was the first Spider-Man game that to this day they still have the same utility of how they had because the first few games, it was they called it the box in the sky, where
from the invisible
box in the sky. But this one, you actually had to be close to a building to actually shoot a web to the building, and that web system was awesome. The voice acting, the
didn't they reprise the roles too?
Everybody, yeah. It was awesome.
I think for most of those game movies like that, like the Batman.
That one, the Dark Knight was terrible. Actually, I have it on my bad.
But ones. I think they reprise the roles, the actors.
Yeah.
And the last one that I had is a game that I've been dying to play, just for the fact that. And I think I was telling you about it a little bit earlier, RoboCop.
Oh yeah,
because it's so gory. Again, I had to mention it again. I love gore. I like to see that. And the original movie had a little bit of that when they shoot him down.
A little bit. It was all over.
It had a little bit. It had a lot of it, yeah. But the game has that. And you feel like RoboCop, and like the game scans everything where you're gonna shoot and everything, and then you can blow hands off, you can blow
badass
legs up, you
yeah,
can blow them up completely. It's called RoboCop Rogue City. I'll leave it in the comments as well, and down in the description below for you guys to see the trailer. But it looks an awesome game. Something that I have on my wish list to buy later on. But I think it looks really good. Like if you look at the game, the graphics look awesome. It's very, like dark,
detailed,
and like kind of like the original. Like it makes you feel like, and you play as RoboCop. How awesome is fucking that?
That's
like
fucking badass.
You have that pistol that is like almost like a pistol / shotgun / submachine gun. It's like
/ fucking arm cannon. So
it's like an arm cannon, but it's like almost fully automatic and stuff like that. Is fucking awesome, dude. Yeah.
Well, going on the machine trend, I remember the video game for Terminator Salvation, where, bro, that game was fucking badass. I played some of it, so it might be that I'm maybe forgetting some parts.
Yeah.
But I remember that you could control like the main Terminator like turret thing, and you could shoot other things down because you're in like a car getting chased, and it's like a rail game sequence.
Yeah,
bro, that part was badass, bro. Like I fucking
awesome,
remember
dude.
that. Yeah, and I remember everything was like gray and brown. It looked like shit. And but so the purple lasers came out, and you like, oh my god, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know Alien Isolation was also a good one.
Yeah,
highly praised, very terrifying.
I haven't finished that game. I'm too much of a pussy. I'll take it. I don't care.
It's terrifying, right? And I know that the alien is supposed to be like very smart. Like the AI is very smart, and it follows you very nice. It creeps around. It's like always creeping around, and you can hide and everything. The mechanics look really awesome. I know it's a terrifying game, and I'm just like, And I love scary games too. Listen, I like when I get all nervous and I'm sweating and I'm like nervous about like the inventory management or something, and I'm like
I don't like the only horror games that I play that I'm like I love these games are the Resident Evil ones.
They're cool.
Very after action. That, yeah,
a lot of action.
No, but like even like Resident Evil 2, like you get very little things, and Resident Evil 7 and like I love those games, but like when I played Isolation, I'm like, I'm too much of a pussy for this. Like this is too scary for me. If you want to call me a pussy in the comment section, I'll take it.
Listen, I love the fact that you mentioned Resident Evil, because we can go now into the unsuccessful ones right from it. And Resident Evil has had
it's had 9 terrible movies, bro.
It's just, I just don't understand why they keep on making them.
I'm glad that they stopped. Because don't get me wrong, I love Mila Jovovich. I think she's done some really cool work, especially as the Fifth Element.
Yeah.
But
I mean, could it be that it's so bad that it's good for some people?
No.
For some people.
Oh, for some people, yeah. I mean, you never know who's somebody's favorite movie of all time.
Somebody's like, man, Resident Evil's fucking awesome,
fucking
and you're
rad.
just like, what?
No.
What?
Nah. I'll like if somebody really likes it, power to you. Like don't let us shit on your on your experience.
What scene I still have in my mind from the Resident Evil movies? The laser one. Do you remember that laser scene?
Yeah. Where it's like you see it
where he's like acting like all badass and he's like avoiding everything, and it just comes into like that pattern. It's just like, oh shit.
I like how it's like the two lines and it makes on a mesh, and the guy's like and you see it blurry, all the chunks like
Oh, another one that I think was pretty awesome was the dogs with the makeup, like they come out.
Where they open the skull.
The fucking Dobermans from the games.
Yeah, those were scary.
Cool. Those are cool. But aside from that, I don't know what it had. It's very forgettable movies to be honest.
Oh, terrible. The CGI was shit. This, especially the last one. The
Nemesis came out in one.
Huh?
I think Nemesis is in one of the movies. Yeah, you know Nemesis.
Yeah, I know who Nemesis is, but I didn't see a lot of the movies. So.
He is in one of them, but I don't recall which one. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of movies.
Even,
and then the animated ones too. Sorry. The animated ones too. They have some
animated movies?
Not animated, fully animated, but they're like kind of like that 3D CGI. They have a few of those too.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a few.
Yeah. This game franchise is possibly, if not almost for sure my favorite game franchise of all time. And when I saw that they were going to make a movie and I saw the people that were going to be in the movie, I was like, I fucking hate this. And it is the Uncharted movies. Oh my God. The level of vitriol that I have for those movies.
For that movie.
For that movie, yeah. For that movie. The casting was terrible. The action was terrible. The effects were terrible. The story was terrible. How can you fuck up such a fun, just joyous, fucking awesome series by making fucking Tom Holland, Nathan Drake as mid-20s, bartender? Get the fuck out of here.
I just feel like that's the point of it. That's the problem with it. Like, we have the series. 4 games, right? 4 games?
4 games.
4 games.
Well, technically 5.
Well, technically, but they're very well fleshed out. You see the character. It's very well fleshed out.
Yeah.
You see Sully extremely well fleshed out. You follow Nathan Drake for the whole fucking game. You see him. You know how he is. He's not a young 20-year-old, right? Sully is not on his 40s.
His 40s,
right?
Yeah. He's supposed to be in his 50s
late
or 60s.
50s, yeah, early 60s. And then you go and cast this man that is in his early 20s and this other man in his early 40s. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
No. Mark Wahlberg, like, he doesn't have that comedic, like, because he's always sounding like he's running out of breath. And he's always like, oh my God. And he's like, bro, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's not Sully.
And Tom Holland doesn't sound anything close to what Nathan would sound like.
Like,
I didn't like him.
The thing with like, Tom Holland is really good at certain quips, but is more on the nerdy kind of quippy side. But Nathan Drake, he has that arrogance. He has that, like, I'm better than you, so I'm going to make fun of you. I'm going to put you down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't think he channeled that properly. So
I just didn't like the cast, man.
I don't know.
I just didn't feel it.
Nope.
To me, highly, highly, highly unsuccessful one.
Yep.
But I can understand the point of, we go a little biased. If you've never seen it, I can see kind of, we talked about it a little bit in the past. Star power, he's,
oh yeah,
on top. They bring him into a movie. It's an action movie you've never seen. You never played the game. You've never seen anything about the game. You go in, and it's kind of like a fun storyline in the sense of, like, he's going to find this treasure and stuff like that. So I can see how some people who've not been, I understand. I know where you're going, but hear me out, right? It's just because some people who've never seen it, never played it, could see that as a fun movie to watch. Yeah. Which I just, we played it. We loved the character. We loved the game. We're just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And again, sorry if it sounds a little bit of a flex. I have gotten the opportunity to meet Nolan North and Troy Baker. And, like, whenever they talk about the game, it's like, it's their
Nolan
baby.
North plays the voice of Nathan Drake. He is the one that voices Nathan Drake.
Not only he voices, because he's also, like, he does the cinematics too. So to me, he is Nathan Drake. Like, even though he didn't write the character, like, a lot of it was added because of his natural sense of humor and how he handles things. So to me, he is Nathan Drake.
Which I feel like it was missing so much in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, the way that everything sounded was just...
like, for example, like, Nathan Drake is supposed to be a guy that has a devil-may-care attitude and has been to jail a bunch of times, and he knows that he can get himself in and out of trouble. I couldn't see Tom Holland's version of Nathan Drake being in a fucking Panamanian jail.
No.
So,
No.
So that's what I think is missing. But anyways, what else you got?
So I also have obviously the Warcraft movie was very forgettable.
Yes.
Extremely forgettable.
Yes.
I started watching and I couldn't, like, just, for me, everything just looked so, and it's not like I play Warcraft, and I know people love it dearly. It's a game that has been around for so long.
Since the early 2000s.
Yeah, and I know people love that game, and I know some people truly enjoy the movie, right? Like I said, there's movies and likes for everyone, right? A lot of people like different things. We may not like it.
Different strokes for different folks.
We may not like it, but I just couldn't watch it, man. It was just like one of those movies that I'm like, what am I fucking watching right now? Like I'm just gonna turn it up.
Yeah,
turn it off.
The last one that I have, the first movie is an instant classic. It's one of those movies that like it has a bunch of cheese in it, and it's like you can forgive it. This one is so bad it's good, like it's laughably good, and it's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It is so terrible in the best.
Is that the one where Goro gets hit on the balls by Johnny?
No, that's the first one. No,
so
the
that
second,
scene was
that second was awesome. and you see the animatronic go like,
yeah,
yeah. But this guy, this movie, this movie, like the acting was terrible. Fucking Shao Kahn kind of speaks like this, and he sounds like he's about to piss himself. Yeah. And Sindel was like, "But you will die." It's like, come on, dude. Like, it's
the
so
theatrics of it.
Yeah, it's so hammy in the worst, best possible way. Yeah.
I mean, man, it didn't hit for me, honestly. The first one was fun.
It's just they changed almost all the actors. Yeah. I believe the only actor that remained was the one that played Liu Kang.
Yeah,
everybody else was changed. Raiden, Johnny Cage, Sonya, like everybody got changed. The only
Shang Tsung in the first one was awesome.
Shang Tsung,
I loved him.
Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 11, he reprised his role.
Yeah, he came back.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love seeing him play a bad guy. Because he has that face of like, I'm gonna kill you.
Exactly. He's a face of like, I'm bad.
Fucking bad guy.
How do you feel about the Mortal Kombat, the newer one?
I didn't see it. You
haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it because even though I love Hiroyuki Sanada, I'm like,
he was cool as Scorpion though. Like, I don't know why. I just really like that Scorpion and Joe Taslim as Sub-Zero. Listen, I don't know. I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. I've been playing Mortal Kombat basically since it came out, and I was born in 1994, and it came out around that time. But it's not. I'm not saying that I was playing at that necessarily.
But get over here, and you're like,
since I started playing, I've been playing Mortal Kombat, and I almost all the iterations. Remember, you played on the Xbox that I have the original one, and I think I had Shaolin Monks, Armageddon, which is amazing.
Deadly Alliance.
I mean,
Deception. Yeah.
I've probably owned almost every single one of them just because I really love them. I watched the movies and.
Sorry, I fucking hit my hand.
One thing that I didn't like, or to me was weird, is that they added a new character who's had like this weird power, which is like an armor, and I'm like,
okay. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I was like, but why? Yeah. So, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. So it can be like, it's there.
It has its moments.
If you're bored, watch it. If you like Mortal Kombat,
I'll watch it. I'll take a look at it. But I want to jump into the bad iterations of games being from movies. And I want to start with Iron Man. There was an Iron Man game from the movie, and it was terrible. Robert Downey Jr. didn't reprise his role. Most of the characters didn't reprise their roles, and it was just clunky. It was just everything was like he was flying just like, and when you try to shoot, it was just bad aiming systems. It was just terrible. Like the entire thing, like the flying mechanics were terrible. The shooting mechanics, like everything about it was so bad. I played it. I believe I played like 2 levels, and I got so pissed off that I'm like, fuck this shit. Like I can't.
Narnia had a game come out.
That's right, but it was like the Prince Caspian one, right?
Don't remember, dude.
I think it was.
I know it came out. I was like, why?
Is that your pick?
Huh?
Is that your pick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because sometimes they just don't have to make a movie. I mean, a game out of a movie. Yeah. They don't have to.
I mean, there's a lot of movies that have the tie-in games that are just terrible.
But you know what? It's there.
Yeah.
What else?
For me, Die Hard. Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza. It is a terrible game because you start like, how they start at the middle of where the movie should be, and then they go backwards, and then they go forwards, and you already started in Nakatomi Plaza, where when in a Die Hard, like that's halfway through the movie when you actually make it into Nakatomi Plaza, and with a little truck or a car or whatever. The shooting mechanics were horrible because you had the main screen, and then you had a little like HUD where you can really see exactly where you're aiming, but meanwhile everybody's shooting at you from here, so you're trying to Jesus, what part am I aiming at? And you could roll terrible. Oh no, just kidding. Like you're walking sideways because since you have to shoot the entire time forward, you're walking. It's just terrible. The only thing that I really like is that when you lose, you know how in like games back in the day they had you like put your initials or your name to show the record. Well, each letter was a hostage.
Oh, that's cool.
So whenever you wanted to input your name, you were killing a hostage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad. It was awesome. So you had A, B, C, D, whatever. It's like, let's say it was J, you had to go through with a kind of it's supposed to be a gun, and you see 8 J, and you just the guy goes, and I'm like, oh yes, dude, that shit was so funny.
I'm not gonna say this is necessarily a bad one because I know some people did like it, but I feel like it might have been a little bit unsuccessful and executed weirdly. Is John Wick Hex. So it is a version of John Wick that is more like a tactical game rather than that. John Wick is supposed to be very brutal, very in your face action, just going ham on the whole entire thing. And John Wick Hex is very tactical, kind of like a strategy game in a way where you kind of have to plan out your moves because you have like a certain amount of movesets that you do as John Wick, and then you execute the people. So it's kind of like, I'm not gonna necessarily say like XCOM, but in a way where you're kind of like a tactical way of going about it. So you really have to plan out the actions that you're gonna do before you actually execute the plan.
Right.
Which I'm like,
that's kind of weird.
Why couldn't you just give me, I don't know,
just balls to the wall?
Yeah, let me just go in and fucking destroy everybody, just like John Wick does, right?
Kind of like Max Payne.
Give me good executions. Give me, man, make it cool, like the game.
Yeah,
not this tactical where I'm like slow and I have to be very tactical about it. And he is very tactical the way that he takes people down, right? Because he really has to like plan out some guys are fucking wild, right? And he really has to like figure it out. But it's all at the same time as he's doing it. Like he's just fighting them and he needs to plan it out at the same time he's fighting. You see the character kind of like, you see Keanu Reeves, the character, just kind of like accommodating himself to beat these guys, right? But
and it's brutal. It's supposed to be brutal. It's supposed to be bloody.
The game is bloody, but in a way that is too tactical, it just loses off that, that pace that the game,
adrenaline.
The movie has. So, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not successful.
Yeah. This next pick, it's so bad because it had another game come out within the kind of like the same span of time that is a much better game, that it's actually one of the greatest games of all time. That game was Arkham City, Batman Arkham City. The game that came around it too was The Dark Knight, with Christian Bale as the Dark Knight, again reprising his role. It is a terrible game. It is horrendous. It looks really bad. It looks really dated. Like the graphics were not good. Everything was clunky. The fighting mechanics were terrible. Like the story was kind of weird. Whereas, you have Arkham City, which is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah. Fighting was amazing.
Fighting was awesome. Story is awesome.
Characters, the villains were dope.
The villains were good. Badass. Every single aspect of Arkham City to me is much, much better. But yeah, so that movie tie-in was just horrendous. What else? Who else do you have?
I have one more. This game came out a long time ago. I still have it on the original Xbox, and is the Fantastic Four, based on the movie with Jessica Alba and everything. It was not great. It was not great.
I mean, the movies were not great either, so...
But I don't know. There was something about those movies that I really liked. I guess because when I was a child watching them, I was like, man, this is a cool movie. Yeah. Especially the Silver Surfer scenes.
Yeah, the Silver Surfer scenes were
dope,
badass.
Man. The Silver Surfer was really dope.
And I gotta say, Michael Chiklis, I believe his last name is. He was a thing, bro. That was a really good performance. That was a really good adaptation. And what's her name?
And that was all practical.
That was all practical. Yeah,
not CGI. That man was wearing a fucking big ass
suit. Yeah. When there's a scene where he stops a truck. That was badass. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll give you that.
So that movie wasn't, it wasn't great, but it had good moments. Yeah. And as a child watching them, it's cool. Fantastic Four have been also one of my favorite characters in Marvel. They're cool, man. I like them, especially Johnny Storm. The Silver Surfer was awesome. Yes. Dude. Still to this day, he's an awesome character.
I like how he could phase through his board and look.
Yeah, man. And those effects for that time, he looked great.
He still looks good. He still looks good. Yeah.
There's a scene where Sue Storm has kind of like the shield. I think it's the first encounter, and she has like a shield, and he just kind of leans forward and passes
through. Yeah, dude. Wow. And you hear fucking like blood come down. Yeah, I like
also it. When he swallows a rocket, that he just kind of goes back, and then there's like a missile coming, and he just swallows it with the board. Kind of like goes up with the board, and he just swallows it. Awesome character. Awesome.
I didn't like their version of Doctor Doom, but there was one scene that to me was hilarious. Is when he goes, like the Silver Surfer goes, and Doctor Doom's like, "You have no idea," and he just like blows the shit out of him, like just get out of here.
They haven't done Doom right.
No, not at all.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do with them, the Russo brothers, what they're gonna do with them, because I feel like Thanos was really cool.
Yeah.
I actually like Thanos. The way that they did him, the way that he fucking smashed the Hulk was awesome.
Yeah. and the fact that he's cool. Just he's getting like different angles.
Yeah, he's like going at it. I'm like, fuck.
I rewatched that fight recently, and I was like, I forgot how fucking badass of a fighter he is. Like hand to hand, because you see him with the sword, and you see, but to see like how he picked apart the Hulk, because the Hulk to that point he had never been challenged to that degree of strength with fighting acumen, because the fight with Abomination was just you had the cop carve boxing gloves or whatever, and the guy would like stab him and whatever, but you didn't have such a tactical character just like bah, 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 bah,
that rivals the strength to that degree, because
the way he picks him up and just slams.
That was awesome. So I really want to see. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with Doom. Like, I just want to see Doom being the badass character, because Doom is such a badass character. He's so powerful that I'm all in for that one.
Yeah.
I really want to see that.
And it's already Jay, so.
Yeah. So it's cool. And lastly, before we finish.
I actually have one more.
Okay.
I have one more. It's the game that almost killed the gaming industry.
Ooh.
In the 70s.
Okay.
And it's E.T. Sorry, the 80s. It was E.T. There was a place that had so many cartridges from E.T. that they filled a landfill. And they had to burn them.
Damn.
The game was so bad that it nearly killed the gaming industry. That's how bad this fucking game is. And I've seen footage of it. It is horrendous.
I need to look it up. I'll leave it down too for you guys to see. And definitely let us know in the comments down below, what do you think about some of these unsuccessful. And if you think that one of the ones that we mentioned is actually good, and we're just shitting on
hating,
something, let us know down there too, as well as if you guys agree with the successful one, and what do you guys think was a successful one. And lastly, I wanted just to talk real quick about the anime games, because for the love of God,
like games made from anime
suck. They don't hit. Exceptions have been made. There are some good ones. Dragon Ball has been there, right, for a very long time.
Tenkaichi Budokai, Fighter Z,
Sparking Zero was pretty good. But it died out.
Yeah.
Right? And Demon Slayer had one, very forgettable.
Yeah.
Bleach is going to come out with one right now. And I've seen some videos. And
for the 1,000-year war?
I think so. I don't know very much because I haven't seen Bleach myself. I'm sorry. But...
he doesn't know about that. If you want to see some action.
But I do know that a lot of people have been complaining because the servers have been really bad. It's just been very laggy. And so people are complaining a lot about it. But do you have one that has been successful, in your opinion? Or do you play it, or maybe if you haven't played it?
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball has been basically the only one that has actually had good games come out of that I could think of, because I played. I think there was one that it was, I think Rurouni Kenshin, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it was, but Yeah, most of them don't hit. The jump force was terrible. The
That was
animations were
bad.
weird. It's just bad.
That was
Like,
bad.
yeah. So I genuinely, well, actually, the My Hero one that came out, I believe like last year or 2 years ago. There was one that it was a fighting game, and the other one that it kind of looked was like a Fortnite version of it. Those actually were pretty fun.
Mm.
The graphics were kind of meh.
I think you might be biased.
I'm very much so, but
I'm looking at the character. I'm like, I think you might be a little biased.
but no, but like some of the mechanics were actually pretty fun.
To me, the one that I think personally that has been really good aside from the Dragon Ball ones was the Naruto.
Okay. Yeah.
And that one I can't remember the name, but it was very open world, right? And you can just go and do the little
Your
the
hand
jutsu,
signs,
and the fights were really cool. It was kind of replicating some of the fights of the original series, like the first season. And it was really awesome. There was like some really good fights, and obviously you go into the fighting that all of the ones have followed from there, right? That 3D moving around fighting. But it was cool to also be able to run around the village and see the NPCs and climb some of the buildings.
Because you can climb onto the faces and stuff.
Just be free and do certain things. And I know some of the other games after kind of have done that a little bit, but not all of them have. Some of them, there's one that was like, I think it was like Ninja Storm, was like completely online. It was weird. You do some weird shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
okay, let me ask you, what anime do you think would make a really good video game?
ooh. Actually, let me talk about that one. Sorry, One
Go
Punch
ahead,
Man.
go ahead.
One Punch Man had one that you had to fight and you had to stall long enough for One Punch Man to arrive,
Saitama?
and he would just punch and end the fight.
I was like, that's actually a really good idea. Like,
yeah, but
the execution may not be it, but
the
like,
execution may have sucked.
yeah, but the idea, the fact that you just have to like stall. I like that because that's a show.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I think one that I think could be cool, very cool idea if they do it, if they do it right, would be Fire Force. I think that'll be awesome, dude.
Yes.
If they do it right, I think that could be such a fucking good game, like really fun because the powers they have. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that'll be cool. What about you?
That's such a difficult question because like the easy answer would say something like Jujutsu Kaisen,
Which already has a game.
Fighting
game.
But let me see.
But like, yeah, because I mean, Fire Force, just to kind of give you like that brainstorm idea, is like open world ish, where you kind of had to go exercise some of those monsters, and eventually you had those fighting scenes and stuff like that, where like the big names and those are like the boss battles. But again, if it's executed well, I think it would be really fun.
But you wouldn't play as the main characters. You would play like in the world, or would you play as like Company 8?
Actually, you could do the same thing that Xenoverse did, which I know a lot of people would say that was a successful game. Xenoverse was actually fun. Xenoverse, yeah. People actually really did enjoy it, and the fact that they created their own character and had kind of like their own story. I do know that people really liked that one, and I could say, yeah, again, making the exception of Dragon Ball games.
Right.
That one is one of those games that have been enjoyable. Attack on Titan also had one that you create your own character and you join the forces. So it could be where you create your own character and you can kind of get a little bit of powers from everybody, like maybe like combine it to make it truly your own character. That'd be pretty cool. Or you learn certain moves from the characters.
You know,
that'd be cool.
What would be a cool game? Something. Well, they already have a game, but if they make a really really good game, Hajime no Ippo,
okay,
they can make a tremendous boxing game. I would highly enjoy it. Anyways. If you have many more picks of games that may have been good or bad that are related to anime, please drop them down below at the comment section. We would love to hear more. Maybe we can play some. Maybe like if you recommend some that are actually good, maybe we can look into it.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to try them.
Yeah,
I'm open to try new games. So definitely let us know down in the comments. And then we'll get to see you guys on Monday. Where can they find you on social media?
On social media, Juanfe Sierra Cortez in most platforms. Please follow and like anything that we put in the Different Lens podcast social media. We work really hard to also try to put content in there to try to like keep the algorithm going. We would love to see you guys watch our stuff there. So please like, share, subscribe, do all this stuff on here and on the on our socials, and where they can find you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, you totally skipped me, but you can find me in Danval there, and that's it. That's it. Anyways, I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on Mondays at 7 p.m. Thank you.